You know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes. Check us out.
So we're live now, guys. Good afternoon, Central Louisiana. I'm Jack, and this is Let's Talk Show here on Urbancast. We're here early today with a special afternoon edition. Today's conversation is made possible by our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance. We appreciate their continued commitment to supporting meaningful conversations in our community. But before we get started, I want to highlight what we're focusing on right now. The Resonance Cultural Arts Initiative inaugural cultural arts show happening Saturday, April the 18th at the Lagniappe Theatre here in Alexandria. The doors will open out there at 3 p.m. for a meet and greet. The show begins at 4 p.m. and it runs through 9 p.m. And there's going to be a smorgasbord of artists that are going to be there. But the first artist that's going to be online for the day is Chef Brett Butler, and his partner Kenny Washington is going to be there with him. And so we're going to sit down today and we're going to try to pick Chef Brett Butler's mind about what he's going to bring to the table and all of that kind of good stuff. If you're watching, make sure y'all drop. If you have a question for the chef, we may be able to bring that question or comment into the conversation. But with that said, Chef, you and Kenny, can y'all tell us a little bit about who you guys are, what y'all do, what y'all getting ready to do, and all that kind of good stuff before we get started?
I'm Chef Brett. We work both here at the Diamond Grill, downtown Alexandria. Kenny Washington is my sous chef. I've been here for almost 10 years now. And believe it or not, Kenny has been here longer than I have. When I first came on, Kenny was already here doing great things. And we have just tried to continue to bring the best food and the best attitude and ambiance to Alexandria.
Okay, all right. Kenny?
I'm Chef Kenny Washington. I've worked for Diamond Grill now going on 11 years. I'm from the area, born in Pineville, grew up in Marksville, and I've been cooking all my life, been cooking professionally for around about 11 years, and just try to do the best I can here at Diamond Grill, bring out the best experience, put out the best food, and bring the best ambiance and everything that we can to the restaurant.
Okay, cool. Chef Brett, you spent over 25 years in the culinary industry. What first pulled you into this work?
Well, I started off as a bartender for a number of years, and I always watched what the kitchen was doing. I always paid attention to how the food came out, and I was just fascinated by it. And one day I was working in a small Italian restaurant right here in Alexandria, and I was a server at the time, and I was not very good at it. And I asked the owner, I said, "Man, do you think I could try it in the kitchen one day, just give it a shot?" And he said, "You know what? I've been waiting on you to say that." And it just kind of went from there.
I hear you. How about you?
I've been cooking since I was young. I watched my parents do their thing, my grandparents do their thing. It was always fascinating. And my mom was always real into Food Network. So that was always in front of me. And it was always kind of in my head, can I do that? So just started playing with it, getting in the kitchen with my mom, my dad, grandfathers, grandmothers. And it just became a passion, something I love doing. I cook for my siblings, my cousins, we'd eat together, and just figured that's what I want to do.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, do y'all? Now, here's a question. Now, this one wasn't on there, but do y'all use cast iron in the kitchen?
We do not. We do for some things.
So something.
Some things.
Oh, okay. All right. You started. You stated in New York, and you started in New York, and you trained in Italian kitchens. How did that shape your style, Chef?
Well, watching Mr. Bellino was his name, and watching what he did every day by showing just so much dedication and passion to the things that he made, and it was all handmade. It took time, and their motto is eat, relax, and enjoy. But the food takes time, and that's what really we always believe in, is just trying to make sure that something that you create, you take your time with it, and just be consistent. Can be consistent with the things that you make. You always want someone to come in and have the same experience that they've had the last time they were there, and that's the most important thing. Is just always trying to watch how he did things, and to pay attention to detail, and just have that passion about everything that you put into your food.
Hmm. You've worked in New Orleans fine dining, and even with the Saints, according to your bio. What did those experiences teach you about performing at a high level?
Well, when you have to serve that many people at one time, for the Saints, I was the food and beverage supervisor. So I handled everything when it came to fine dining, all the way down to the hot dog. And it's really paying attention to detail, consistency once again, and speed. You got to stay on your toes. When you have that many employees that are under you, you have many different personalities that are coming at you every day, but you have to stay consistent with what you do.
All right. You've been here at the Diamond Grill for nearly a decade, a little over a decade now. What does that space mean to you now as the executive chef over there?
It means everything to me. It really does. This place has become my family. When I lost a wife in 2018, I had went down a pretty dark road, and I had always heard about the Diamond Grill downtown Alexandria. And after, I guess, bugging them enough about to please hire me, they gave me a chance. And I started off at the bottom and just continued to just grow and grow. And they've given me nothing but support and love. And I mean, it's this experience, when you walk in front and back of the house, of the team. And it's all about your experience. When you walk out that door, you say, I had a great night.
And the Diamond Grill is known for patience, attention to details. I know you've talked about that a little, starting. How does that show up in your kitchen every single day?
It's about teamwork. Like I said, you have to always have, I want people when they walk in to say that the salmon tasted exactly the same every time they walked in. I want them to say that pasta tasted the same every time they walk in. And even though that we create these wonderful dishes, we still will be able to compromise. We always say that no is not in our vocabulary. So if you want something changed a little bit, we're willing to do that. The front of the house works very well with us as well. And that's what it's all about. It's all about just basically accommodating to the people who come in and who are, spending their good money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I know from time to time when I've been on a ship, and just to see the sheer amount of food that they go through and the consistency. I hear you saying that, throughout this conversation about how important it is to make sure it's the same. It's amazing that, just to see the sheer volumes of stuff, restaurants can produce and be consistent with it. You're part of a lineup. We're going to switch over here into a little bit about the Cultural Arts Initiative itself. You're part of a lineup that includes music, spoken word, dance, painting. What does it mean to you to represent the culinary side of that experience?
Well, I believe that cooking is an art. It tells a story, and we all have, memories of our mother, like Kenny said, parents being in the kitchen cooking, friends and family coming over. It's a way to bring people together, but it's also, people eat with their eyes. And when you see something that's appealing, that looks really good, you want to try it. And that's an art form.
Mhm.
And, you know, especially for the young youth here in Alexandria, that, you know, people of color especially, who may not think that this is something that they could do. Absolutely, it's something you can do, because it's, you know, you look at me and this young man right here.
Well, you know, Kenny, with that said, you know, that smell, that family experience, I heard when you started off the conversation, you said, hey, you know, I was always cooking for the family. What would you add to that question?
Cooking for me is a love language. It's a way to show affection, to show that you care. We look in our own culture specifically when you have the good times, the family get-togethers, the not so good times. Somebody may pass away, but uh, the food always brings somebody together. You know, bringing the dish to say, "Hey, glad I'm here." Bringing the dish to say, "Hey, sorry about today." It's showing that you care,
Mm-hmm.
showing that like I said, a love language. It's showing that you love somebody. It's showing that emotion. It's a way to bring, like Chef said, it's a way of bringing people together. Food has a way of doing that, especially in families. Growing up in my family, that was a huge thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my grandfather's a farmer, so growing the food, you know, raising a garden, raising animals, so going from the field to the table, that was a huge thing and a huge understanding. And it's also, like Chef said, to think of time and patience. Growing that corn, getting it, raising it to the right age, putting it on table, you know. So it's a lot of time, love, patience, and appreciation that all ties together into it. And when you use that as a love language, it can definitely bring people together. It can bring spirits up. Again, to change the world. As corny as that sounds.
No, but you're right, and you know, and both of you guys talked about our young folk, but you hit on a couple of words just a few seconds ago. That food to the table. It's a lot of times young people don't even realize, you
Yeah.
know, that farm aspect of where this stuff really gets started, and end up in these fine dining rooms and things, you know, and even McDonald's, Burger King, for that matter. You know what I mean? They really don't understand that food to the table piece of it. The flyer calls that this is going to be immersive. It's going to be an immersive evening. How do you guys approach food as a part of an experience, not just as a meal? I know, Chef, you say you're going to be narrating while Kenny going to be pulling it all together and all that kind of good stuff. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I have a few stories that I'm going to tell. I'm not going to, you know, not going to give it all away today, but
All right.
I have a few stories that I'm going to tell that will help people understand, you know, not only the reasons why I got into it, but also how Kenny got into it. And we all have been in the kitchen where, you know, when your mom's cooking and she's talking to her aunt, she's talking to your aunties, and they're telling a story, and you pretending like you watching TV, but you listening to what's going on, you ear hustling, as they say. You know, that part of it is what is the immense part. It's not just about the food. It's about how the food was made. Maybe this was a day where you heard your mom tell something funny. I mean, those are the things that bring the whole culinary experience together.
You have anything to add to that, Kenny?
The only other part I can think to add is, along with the storytelling, will be a demonstration of skill. The way an artist, a painter might use a paintbrush in their paints. We want to show those sort of culinary skills, knife skills, cooking skills, sauteing, seasoning, making your own seasoning, you know, what kind of flavors you want to bring out, how all of that ties together in making a meal that is not only visually pleasing, but appeals to all your senses. You know, you want to hear the sizzle in the skin, you want to seek a certain smell, there's certain things you want to see, certain things you want to taste, you know, there's a certain feel you're going for when you're cooking certain things. So that's definitely something we want to show along with the storytelling.
Mm-hmm. So, what can folk expect from the culinary experience specifically? In other words, I want to kind of know what y'all plan on cooking that night.
Well, we're going to do something that's going to have. We're going to do a steak. We are going to make a steak, but we're going to do something that's going to show um, a New Orleans type sauce
Mhm.
and some New Orleans side and southern sides of vegetables. So it's going to be smelling real good in there.
It's gonna be smelling real good. You're gonna have some
Smelling real
seafood in there. You're gonna leave the seafood out there.
we might play with a little bit of seafood. Yeah, we might do some seafood.
Uh-oh.
I know some people have some seafood allergies, so you know.
Oh, okay, all right. So you got to watch it. So yeah,
Be careful.
All right, all right. How do you, like when you're at the restaurant, and you have, you guys have, you clearly say, hey, I have a roadmap or a recipe for the stuff that we're putting together. But then from time to time, you have the person that comes in and say, hey, I want a little of this added or this taken away. How do y'all make sure that food matches the energy and creativity, in this lineup specifically? But even as you take it back to the restaurant, I guarantee you that every other night it might be a different energy in that room that dictates a different thing that comes out of the kitchen. So talk to us about that.
Well, as I said, we are in the business of not saying no. So we try to accommodate with whatever there is. Now we do, every chef is very proud of the things that they create. So sometimes if you have someone who doesn't want something on a salmon or a sea bass that's normally on the menu, we still like to accommodate that because, as we said, if we have the ingredients, then we should be able to do it. And it's about really just respecting and also knowing that, how would you feel when you walked into a restaurant and you tried something out, but it just didn't really taste right. We're also a teaching kitchen. So anytime that my chefs want to try a recipe out or to try something, I always encourage that. I have many things on our menu now that were not created by me at all. A lot of it was created by my sous chef here, Kenny. I have another great sous chef in Cassie, and they do great jobs at coming up with things. We're a teaching kitchen. If you want to try something, give it a try. If we like it, we like it. If we can roll with it, we'll run a special on it for the weekends. It also brings something different to just having the same menu every day. So, when you come into the restaurant, you might, the server will tell you a special and you'd be like, oh, wow, I didn't know that you guys even did that.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to pause right here real quick. We're talking about the Resonance Cultural Arts Initiative, inaugural cultural arts show happening on Saturday, April the 18th at the Lagniappe Theatre. We have Chef Butler and Kenny here telling us about, what they have for the lineup tonight and, and their history being there in the food preparation area. The doors to this particular event going to open up at 3 p.m. The show is going to begin at 4 p.m. and it runs through 9 that evening. You can get the tickets. We'll put a link to the tickets in the comments, but you can also go out there to the Resonance Cultural Arts Initiative, and there are tons of links there to pick up the tickets, find out what that evening is going to be about. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be introducing all of the lineup for the evening. We're just starting here today with the culinary. I was a little selfish on that one because I wanted to talk about the food. So let's get back to these questions over here. Why is it important for the chefs to be a part of the, why is it, in your opinion, Chef Butler, why do you think it's important for the chefs to be a part of a cultural event like this, and not just to restaurant spaces? Because a lot of times you go places and they have cooking presentation that's a part of a convention that you guys are going to. But here we are now bringing you guys into the main space of arts. Why do you think that's really important?
Well, especially for our youth of color, a lot of youth has never experienced fine dining, and fine dining is it's an experience. It's not just a meal. When you go into a place that has the ambiance and the show and tell and everything that comes with fine dining, I wish, when I was younger, that someone took me to a place where I knew what a salad fork was, or what a soup spoon looked like. These are lessons that a lot of our young youth have never even been able to experience, and may not ever be able to experience. And so you don't get to see this side. You get to see a better side of what just food is. It's not just a regular restaurant. It's not like a chain. This is a place where, and we're going to show them how, not only about the food, but also about the expectations of what it is to be like in fine dining.
And how does this food help bring people together across different, backgrounds? Because I would imagine, when in the restaurant, you probably have a little bit of everybody in there. So talk to us about how food bring those different varying backgrounds together.
Well, like I said earlier, I am going to tell some stories about that. But I mean, we've all walked into someone's house and said, "Ooh, that smells good," or scrolled online and looked at something and like, "Man, I wish I could make that." I think this young man right here makes one of the best General Tso's chickens I've ever had, and I'm telling, and it's Asian food. So I mean, it's all about it's about smell, it's about look, it's also about willing to try different things, which is especially for people of our color, sometimes we don't like trying new stuff. But I mean, I don't know about all that, but we give it a chance, and you might end up liking it. So
yeah, back in the day, we only they could, the older folk could work some miracles out of a half of an onion, salt, and pepper.
Yes, indeed.
But if they had a little garlic, they could really throw it.
Yes, indeed.
But today, you go into grocery stores and you see all of these various spices that you just didn't. And if you do try them, you end up liking it a little bit. We've added a little turmeric, some of the other things. I'm just thinking about some of the things. Rosemary. These were experiences that we normally didn't used to come across.
That's right.
I figured out, I used to always go into a restaurant in New Orleans, and I was always trying to figure out it was a spice that was in the food. And I don't know, one day I was watching a video and I decided to do this salmon, and it calls for oregano. And lo and behold, I used to think I didn't like oregano. It was too overbearing. But in the right, in the right portion, kicks the right notch of, I didn't realize that, but I know now. But it was really interesting to see that.
That's right.
What does it mean to be a part? Again, Jeff, I really want to push that into, because a lot of times, here we don't get into the culinary arts a lot, and we don't, if there's some young people that are sitting out there and listening, man, when I figured out, sitting in a restaurant up in Pittsburgh, what the head chefs making, all that kind of good stuff, I was like, well, heck, I'm in the wrong career field. I need to switch around a little bit. Give us a little idea about, what one, the rewards of being the chef, the head chef in a major restaurant, and just speak to them young folk out there who might be looking for something, but just didn't even know that they could do it with food.
And that is the importance of this get together, of this gathering, because it gives a chance to show young youth that it's not just about people think when I'm a cook, they think about Applebee's, McDonald's, stuff like that, and it can go way beyond that. Yeah, that can be the beginning of your story, but it doesn't have to be the end. If food is your passion, you continue to work at it, you continue to study it, and it can take you places. It's taken me places, and I'm so God grateful for it. It's taken this young man places, and it's going to continue to bring him places. He will one day replace me, as well he should, and that's what it's all about. It's all about also giving back and showing the young youth and helping the young youth to understand that this is definitely a profession that can bring you wealth and can bring you happiness and growth. And it's always learning. That's the one thing that's wonderful about being a cook. You're always learning something new.
Mm-hmm. All right. It is out of the questions that we threw at you guys this afternoon. Is it anything that we missed that you think I should have asked you there, chefs?
No, I think you did. I think you did a great job. We were, this is something that we're not used to, as we said earlier. We're the guys that's in the back in the kitchen. We're just doing our thing, and even every once in a while, I have to walk out here and I have to ask people, how was your meal? How was everything? And it's just kind of not my thing. But if this experience shows someone else that this is what they can do, then we're all in.
Oh man, like I said, when Victor and Tikaya came in and they were talking about, they were running through the format of the evening, and I was like, this is a great opportunity to go get a sample, of all things art,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is going to really be fun, and it's something different for the area. But the other cool thing about what they, are bringing to the table is the idea that, they'll be able to dive deeper into these various aspects of the arts as they keep moving forward. With that said, Chef Brett, Chef Kenny, we appreciate you guys joining us here on Urban Cast and being a part of this conversation about the arts initiative that's coming up. For those of you guys who just joining us, the Renaissance Arts Initiative inaugural cultural arts show takes place Saturday, April the 18th at the Lagniappe Theatre. Doors are going to open at 3 p.m. The main show is going to begin at 4 p.m. And it concludes around 9. Tickets are going to be, there's going to be a link to get the tickets here. We also want to acknowledge the sponsors of this event, VLP Alliance, the Greater Alexandria Economic Development Authority, the New Orleans South African Connection, and 6 Feet Above. To our viewers, we definitely want to say thank you for joining us in the middle of the day. We're normally not here at this time, but we wanted to definitely make sure that the chef could come talk to us and be ready to go prep for this evening, and we didn't want to pull him into the equation trying to do a show when he's trying to make some folk stomachs okay, and that kind of good thing. To our viewers and supporters out there, we thank you. A special thank you to our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance, and to our business partners, Sadler's Towing, Legendary Kung Fu and Tai Chi, Long's Products, United Wrestling and Entertainment, Naders International, The Threadhead Embroidery, Elegance Beauty Supplies, and our newest kid and partner with us, O'Mel's Farms. Just joined us today. So we want to say thank you to them. That being said, we definitely want to say thank you to everybody. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream, Chef, so y'all could just hang tight for one quick second. I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.